Namaskaram, welcome to PGurus. I'm your host JK, and today we have a special guest. He could have been in movies had he tried, but alas, right now he is with the news channel, CNN News 18. I'm really happy to welcome Anand Narasimhan.
Namaskaram. Very kind
Namaskaram,
of you.
Swami. Now, I guess you got the looks, you got the heights, maybe just not the time. Maybe we would love to have and see you in big screen sometime, sooner or later.
Right now, you just follow your karma and make your karma your dharma. So wherever karma leads you, you go ahead and do that. So right now, this is where my karma yoga is. That's where I am.
Excellent. I guess somebody talking about karma and dharma from News 18. We are really happy to hear that. In fact, that in fact takes me to that question that we were talking about, right? So, Karma Yogi, as we call him, I guess he's going to celebrate his birthday maybe in a couple of days' time on September 17th. And we heard him talk about Pancha Pran on Independence Day, and he wants India to be a superpower by 2047. And he was talking about shedding the slavery mindset. What's your thought on those?
See, as we speak, we are also observing Hindi Diwas. Now, look at the response that especially the non-Hindi speaking regions of our country are giving to a language which belongs to Bharatvarsha, that is Hindi. But the point is that we've been brainwashed to think that it is okay to speak a colonial language, a foreign language, Indianize it, and still claim that that is okay. But we will not embrace an Indian language, which perhaps is the largest or spoken language and which can actually bind us together. It is not being done at the cost of the local language. What is happening is that this colonial language that we are actually interacting in, because we've been born and brought up and we've been bred with this mindset that this language is what will make you elite. This language is what is cool. This language is what civilized people will speak. That's why we have been brainwashed to speaking this. And then, of course, political narrative and vested interests, which wanted to keep the North and keep this North versus South divide and keep everything which is, north of the Vindhyas divide of, away from what is south of the Vindhyas. They said, all right, we will speak the language of the colonialists and we'll speak our language, but we will not speak a language which can become the common link language. It's not the Rashtra Bhasha, it's the Raj Bhasha. The Raj Bhasha is that the state language or one common language that will link all of us together, which we can move to, that is Hindi. Now take the example, and I'm elaborating a little on this and why I'm saying that the Prime Minister's Panch Pran is so important. Now let's take Arunachal Pradesh. Arunachal Pradesh is the easternmost part of our country. It is the place where the sun first rises on India. In Arunachal Pradesh, the common link language is Hindi. There are so many tribes and subsets and their dialects are so diverse that they have actually chosen Hindi as the link language. And it is, so everybody from different subsects or sub-tribes or regions in Arunachal Pradesh, when they meet, they automatically slip into Hindi so that they can communicate. The issue is they did not choose English, and neither did they choose Mandarin, because they are on the borders of China. They rejected it. They chose Hindi and they said, no, we will speak in Hindi. Now, however it was, now they're very comfortable with it. Now, if an Arunachali, that means who is living at the shadow of the sun, that is Arunachal, so on the throes of the sun, if they are speaking Hindi, and they are connecting with the rest of the country, why not? Yes, should the Hindi speaking belt also learn another Indian language? Of course they should. But that is for us to sort out within our languages. This is where the colonial mindset comes. Kingsway was Rajpath. So you gave it a Hindi term and called it Rajpath. Why? Because the Russians were going to come and they didn't want to walk on Kingsway, so we call it Rajpath, because you didn't want to upset the British. So you told the British, oh, I have just changed the language, it is all right. So what are you trying to do? What is your identity? The PM now calls it Kartavya Path. Why does he say Kartavya? Kartavya is duty. Duty is also one of the Paryayavachis for Dharma. So you celebrate those. It starts from somebody like Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, who made it his Kartavya that he will not change his identity, and what has to be ours has to be taken by force. People who do not know the language of talk will walk away, will run only when you turn around and hit them. You have to be strong. And what was his purpose? His only purpose was Bharatvarsha. That was his Kartavya. His Kartavya was towards his country, his Matrabhumi. So beyond the 18th of August 1945, his Kartavya always was towards his Matrbhumi, whatever his role was. And if you walk on that path, and what are you walking towards? You're walking towards the seat of our parliament, our democracy, and then you're passing that, and you will eventually come to the president's, to Rashtrapati Bhavan. Now, that is the thought process. Why can't we accept that thought process and embrace it? And I think the PM is saying it beautifully. He's saying that we've got 80,000 dialects. We've got more than 25, 27 official languages. Why shouldn't we embrace these languages and speak all of them? The Chinese, they're the largest population in the world. They're the biggest economy. They don't speak English. The Germans don't speak English. The French don't speak English. Nobody, they all take pride in their own language. The French want, if you are in France, you must speak French. Here we are busy telling the world, oh, I speak English. Hello, why aren't we turning around and saying, do you speak Tamil? You want to work in Tamil Nadu? You want to set up a factory in Tamil Nadu? Do you speak Tamil? You're setting a factory in Karnataka? Learn Kannada. When you want to talk to us, learn Hindi. Look at how the French behave. Look at what the English say. You don't speak English? That's what they ask. And you ask a German, sprechen Sie English? He'll turn around and say, sprechen Sie German. Because he'll say, why should I speak your language? You speak mine. See, they are not being arrogant. They're just taking pride in their culture, and they know that that's how they're going to keep their culture alive. Language is a window into a civilization and into its culture. You erase the language, you slowly erase the culture, and then thereafter, the civilizational ethos. That's exactly what they wanted. Mahatma Gandhi is on record going back and saying that, okay, the British may not go, I want English to go. That means the language to go. So this is a thought process. And I think the PM is speaking from that manner. We start speaking our languages, our own language. We'll automatically shed this colonial mindset where we believe that everything that the West does is superior, and whatever we know and our jnana, which is more than 10,000 years old, is inferior.
Right. In fact, just touching upon the language, right? Hindi being the Raj Bhasha, even though it's not a Rashtra Bhasha. Likewise, Sanskrit were widely spoken earlier, and we see them weaning away. What do you think we should do to bring Sanskrit back to its glory?
Well, first is that we need to start teaching it. We need to start teaching it, and we need to start speaking it. And we have to do it without any resistance, with a lot of love, and embrace it. And we have to do it at a very young age. See, children are the ones who, till the time you're 5 or 6, that's when is your ability to speak up languages. And if we can teach the next generation, by the time they're 5 or 6, 4 or 5 languages, Indian languages, they will never forget it. They will always speak it. And Sanskrit is codified. So it's a scientific language. It's got a very scientific bent. So once it's coded into your mind, it will always be there. So it's that. And more importantly, we have to make our languages pan-India accessible. So we need to make it part of our curriculum, that whoever is in the north of India, or what we know as the Hindi belt, must learn a non-Hindi language. They must be taught it. Now, whether they are taught Sanskrit, whether they're taught Tamil is also the oldest language, so it should be spoken more. But more from a linguistic appreciation and understanding of cultures and cross-breeding of cultures. That's why. So it must be part of our NEP. And I'm sure it is part of our NEP. But more importantly, we need to have good teachers. We need to have those proficient in the language, not just speak it, but also teach it. And teach it to the next generation. See, at 25, at 15, 18, 20, 25, 30, 35, we are not in a position to learn a new language unless we really, really apply our minds. But kids pick it up. But your brain is most receptive, absorbent like a sponge when you're young. So till the time you're 6 or 7 years old, from the time you start speaking, we should encourage learning of more languages.
Right. In fact, just going back to Modiji's birthday, and BJP has said that they want to celebrate it in a subtle way in terms of seva pakwada, right? The service mindset, rather than cake cutting or havan puja. And in fact, JP Nadda has laid down the rules for that. And in fact, they said they're going to start from 17th September till October 2nd. It's a fortnightly celebration of service, blood donation, Modi 2.0, Modi 20 years book being widely publicized, popularized. What do you think we can do in terms of, as a common citizen, what do you think we can do to celebrate his birthday?
It is what is our Sanatana Pratha? What is the Pratha in India? Cake cutting is a Western phenomenon. What is our Pratha? Our Pratha is go to the temple. Our Pratha is Seva, offer puja and archana, go prayer wherever, whatever your puja paddhati is, you offer prayer. And what do? You donate, you give alms, you do something which is an act of charity. You either go and serve people food, or you do annadana, or you do tulabharam and then you make a donation. Somewhere or the other, the core principle for us, the bhava has always been service to humanity. So let us inculcate that and let's start serving people. Let's start helping those who need help. And if we are in an ability, in a position to do any kind of seva, I think seva parmo dharma has to become our basic underlying philosophy. And yeah, so you can have a certain amount of celebration, but the celebration is in giving joy to somebody else on a day that is special to you. I think that bhava, if we can follow, the manifestation can be however a person chooses it to be.
I guess I should say that very well explained. I guess even a BJP spokesperson might not have put that subtly and very honestly. Thank you very much, Anand, for joining us. Thank you once again.
Well, JK, I'll tell you what. I don't. You know what? I disagree with this fact that the aspect of Sanatana or Hindutva, that means Hinduness, is a particular political party's property. It is not. And frankly, it is people who understand this bhava that it belongs to Bharat. And we are born with this culture because it's been practiced more than a millennia by our ancestors. So it is inherent to our nature if we are born of this soil. So it's not a political party's property. A political party is benefiting from this bhava. That's a different point. But we are somebody who need to understand this, and we need to turn and tell political parties, don't teach something which we know. It's part of our DNA. And if you attempt to appropriate it as something as which belongs to you, we will stop you from doing that too. So we need to be very clear about that. It's not somebody's property. It's not. It is ours. All of Bharatvarsha and every Bharatiya's inherent nature is this bhava.
Right. In fact, the Panch Pran, where we are cutting down the slavery, whatever you said right now will aptly apply to that. Thank you very much, Anand. In fact, if you like this video, like, share, and subscribe with your friends.